What is going on, IF Warriors? It's your boy Edward V, and today we're going to talk about how you can lose weight automatically. Now, there's only a few key things that you actually need to pay attention to so that this process can take place, and I'm going to go ahead and break that down in this video. Guys, quickly before we start, this video is brought to you by yours truly, Fledge Fitness and the Fledge Fitness Jump Rope. If you haven't gotten yours yet, what are you waiting for? With an ergonomic design, aluminum handle, and swivel design, you can't go wrong with the Fledge Fitness Jump Rope. You can click on the top right hand corner of this video or down in the description box below. And of course, as always, guys, thank you so much for your support. Now let's go ahead and jump right into the video. First things first, let's just get this very understood thing out of the way. You must control your caloric intake. So I just want to give you all of the points that you kind of need, all of the arsenal you need to ensure that you cover all your bases so that you are burning fat or losing weight automatically. You have to ensure that your calories are controlled. If you're a certain weight right now and you don't see the scale moving ever or anything shrinking ever, or your clothes are just the same, or maybe they're feeling a little bit tighter, you are eating too much. Even if you're not counting calories, if your weight doesn't move and you're trying to lose that weight, you are eating too much. You're eating enough to sustain the amount of weight that you have currently, or you're eating more than what you're supposed to be eating, which is elevating the amount of weight that you currently have, but just slightly elevating it below the just noticeable difference, so you're never actually losing weight. So you must grasp this understanding that you have to stop eating what you're eating, not exactly the food, but the amount of food that you're eating. You have to cut things back and try to start losing weight. This is literally the first step that must be taken so that you're on the correct path to start losing weight automatically. Now, the second thing that you can do to start losing weight automatically is applying physical exercise. And I know people hate physical exercise because it's so annoying and it's so redundant and it's so intrusive, and you're just trying to live your life and you don't want to have to worry about these things. But you came here to lose weight automatically, right? And I'm going to tell you something that comes with exercise, both cardio and resistance training. When it comes to cardio, the harder you train, the harder you work out, you're going to burn calories during that workout. But the longer you go and the harder you go in your cardio session, you'll also get subsequent EPOC, which is burning after the fact. Your body's basically trying to get itself back to a comfortable rest mode. And just to do that, your body is burning extra additional calories that it wouldn't have burnt before. And keep in mind, a lot of people like to point out, well, all of this extra burning, is just this much calories or that much calories, and it's not going to be. All of this, guys, is a compounding effect. Don't look at it in a vacuum of how much did you burn in one day. Think about it in the vacuum of how much did you burn in 1 week, how much did you burn in 1 month, how much did you burn in 3 months? When you start understanding it like that, these are little pockets of calorie burn that you're essentially leaving on the table if you don't apply something like cardio and trying to get the best out of your cardio. If you train really hard in your cardio, and one good cardio that you can do is jump rope. And I'm not just saying that to sell you my jump. You can jump rope with any jump rope, but jump ropes tends to be one of the higher calorie burning exercises, while also being one of the easiest to set up, because all you got to do is jump in place. You don't have to run anywhere or get on a treadmill or find a bike or anything like that. Just jump in place, skip in place, and you can actually get a lot of bang for your buck per the amount of time that you're actually doing the jump rope. For example, 10 minutes of jump rope, you can burn a lot more calories than 10 minutes of running. And that added exertion carries over to that EPOC energy burning. And studies have shown that you can burn up to 38 hours of just continuous energy burning that comes from that strenuous cardio exercise. So imagine if you're doing that exercise, the next day you also do it. You haven't even completed your 38-hour period yet, but now you're adding more. You're adding more to your body's calorie burn through that post-exercise energy expenditure. So trust me, you want cardio. Now, resistance training. Why do you want resistance training? Well, if you add resistance training, this is one of the best things you can do for automatic weight loss. Muscle building helps with automatic weight loss with more practicality than probably all of the other things besides reducing your calories. Why? Because when you actually increase lean mass, you increase as well your metabolic rate. And keep in mind that when you lose weight, you are also reducing your metabolic weight because so many things are happening. Your body wants to eat more. Your body wants to expend less energy so that you get more tired. You find yourself trying to do stuff, but you can't really get them done because your body's trying to keep you from expending so much energy and is increasing ghrelin so that you can eat, so that you can put in more calories, as well as your overall weight has dropped, so you're not carrying as much weight. Thus, you're burning less energy just to carry your own weight around. But when you build muscle, now you're increasing weight, but you're increasing healthy weight. You're actually just building muscle tissues, muscle fiber, and it makes your body look incredibly proportionate on top of all of that. So you got the visual appeal there, but on top of all of that, it increases your metabolic rate because lean tissue is the primary driver for your metabolic rate. So you want to build muscle. And just to top it all off, the more muscle you have, the more it requires calories. So the 2,000 calories you were eating 2 months ago before you built the muscle is not the same 2,000 calories that you're eating now in terms of energy expenditure, because your muscles require some of those 2,000 calories, which means some of those 2,000 calories are not going to be stored as body fat. Think about that, guys. The calorie partitioning that's happened internally is actually helping you with the foods that you're eating externally. So whatever you're actually eating, you're better off. You're burning more calories within the same foods that you're eating simply because you're partitioning that calorie and feeding the muscle that you build. And if you're thinking to yourself, well, building muscle is going to take forever. No. Building a lot of muscle and building a massive amount of muscle, that might take forever. But building a good amount, that's actually pretty quick if you haven't gone to the gym ever, if you haven't gone to the gym in a long time, or if you have a high body fat percentage. All those three things, if you fall in any one of those, you can build muscle very quickly, much faster, believe it or not, than a bodybuilder who is already huge. In terms of the amount of muscle that you're gonna build versus the amount of muscle that they're gonna build over the course of this year, if you started, you could actually end up building more muscle simply because of the fact that you are detrained or you haven't trained, and the shock that your body gets from actually doing those things will give you what they call newbie gains. But this helps you even burn body fat while building muscle all at the same time. So it's a win-win. You can't lose. Build some muscle, partition those calories, and you actually get to eat more or eat what you're eating while partitioning more of those calories to your muscles. It's a no-brainer, guys. That's gonna really help you lose weight automatically. And now the third thing on how to lose weight automatically is we have to be honest with ourselves. We have to really sit down and we're not talking to other people. We're not talking to, the family members and trying to explain things to them. We're talking to ourselves. If we want to lose weight, if you want to reach that goal, you have to understand that just doing a certain diet for maybe a week or two or a month and then relapsing and eating relapsing and eating something is not going to get you there. And it didn't mean that that diet failed. It meant that maybe that diet wasn't for you, but you shouldn't give up in that moment. So the psychology of weight loss is probably on top of everything. Now we talked about all of the biological elements that you can apply, the physical elements that you could apply, but the mental element, That's the most important one if you actually want to continue losing weight automatically. You have to make sure that the foods that are very tempting for you are not easily accessible at all times. You have to create some type of structure. Intermittent fasting creates a structure where you can only eat at a certain time and you are conscious that you can only eat in that certain time. Therefore, you try not to eat outside of that eating window, thus creating more structure for you in terms of how you eat, how much you eat, having some control. And studies have shown that even if people do not count calories but do intermittent fasting, they end up still losing weight simply because of the fact that they created those invisible walls where they cannot eat outside of their eating window. So just pick, it doesn't have to be intermittent fasting if you don't want, but pick something that gives you structure, but also pick something that you can follow forever, and make sure that you don't have things that are tempting you all the time. If you have friends that just constantly want to go out and eat 4 days a week, you gotta control that, because if you don't, you'll never lose weight, and you'll try these diets but also have these offsetting days, and then these offsetting days are actually adding too much calories and offsetting what you actually are working towards. Therefore, you think that the diet doesn't work, but it's just the overall atmosphere where you're not giving the diet a chance to succeed. So you have to be very conscious of that. And if you follow all of these things that I just said right now in a nutshell, and making sure that you're always aware of how much you're eating and creating structure and using physical activity to help boost all of those things, then there's no way that you won't be losing weight automatically. Hopefully this video has helped you guys, and of course, as always, I want to thank my patrons for my Patreon, and I'm going to go ahead and put their names right up here.